A group of students were asked to respond to the following statement. There is not enough downtime in between assignments. A. Finish filling in the table. B. Is the variable nominal or ordinal? C. What number of students said they strongly agreed? D. What percentage of students don't know? E. What response had the highest frequency? F. Draw a column chart of the percent frequency. And G. Interpret and write a summary of the findings. Okay, firstly, part A, finish filling in the table. There's a lot more items missing than you're used to here. We don't know the total or this value here. So there's 2 unknowns in that summation of that column. And there's 4 unknowns in the summation of this column. So what's the trick here? How can we work out these values? Let's look at either this one or this one. Now we know that the percentage is going to be this number divided by this number times 100. So if we call this x, we can say that 52 on x times 100 is equal to 32.1, but that's the rounded off value. And we can also say that 11 on x times 100 is equal to 6.8, rounded off version. So technically they may not give you this value either for a complex unfamiliar, and you can still work it out by using these 2 values. So let's look at just using these 2 values from the strongly agree row. So that's this equation here. So we've got only one unknown, so that's solvable. So we need to get x on its own, but we need to get x on the top, so we're going to have to bring that over the equals sign to multiply. So that gives us 52 times 100 is equal to 32.1 times x. And then we can bring this over to divide to get x by itself. So x equals 52 times 100 divided by 32.1. And that gives us a value of 161.99. But remembering that we're talking about numbers of people, so it's a whole number we're chasing. So the actual value is 162. The only reason it's 0.99 is because these values here were rounded off to 1 decimal point. So let's go ahead and put what the total value is. There's 162 people that were asked this question. Now if you have got enough information, so if you've got this second equation, you can also check it that way. So it would be 11 over 162 times 100, and you should get 6.8. So let's just put that in our calculators and check. That gives 6.79, which is rounded to 6.8. So yes, you are correct. Okay, now we can work out this value because the sum of these must equal 162. So the value is equal to 162 minus 52 minus 41 minus 11 minus 32, which equals 26. So we can go ahead and say that 26 people disagreed. Now all that's left remaining is to work out your percent frequencies. So again, that's the number, for instance, who agreed divided by the total number of people that were asked. So 41 agreed out of 162 people times 100 to make it a percentage. And that gives 25.3. 26 people disagreed out of 162. Turn it into a percentage. And that gives 16.0. 32 strongly disagreed out of 162. I think there'd be a lot of people arguing with them. And that gives 19.8 rounded up to 1 decimal. Now finally, summing all these values in this column it actually gives you exactly 100% in this case. So you know you've got it right. And that's the table finished. Okay, part B, is the variable nominal or ordinal? Now, it's not numerical. However, there is a certain way of ordering it from strongly agree to strongly disagree, or from strongly disagree to strongly agree. So we call this one ordinal. Part C, what number of students said they strongly agreed? So we go to the strongly agree row, and they've asked for the number, not the percentage, so it's 52. So 52 said strongly agree. Okay, part D, what percentage of students don't know? So we go to the don't know row, and this is the percentage here, so 6.8% don't know. Part E, what response had the highest frequency? So we just go to this table and work out which one has the highest number. It doesn't matter which column, because if this one's higher here, then the frequency will also be the highest. So strongly agree has the highest frequency. So F, they've asked us to draw a column chart of the frequency. So again, that's this column versus the variables. Okay, so the first thing we do is we set up our X and Y axes as so, and we split this up into the number of variables. So we got 5. Make sure we get the order strongly agree to strongly disagree correct, because it's an ordinal variable. Let's make sure we name what the variable is here, and it's not enough downtime. And they've asked for percent frequency, not number frequency. So we make sure we get the heading frequency in brackets percentage there, and we're looking at the values in this column. So now the tricky bit is working out how to divvy up this axis. So look at the values. The maximum that we're looking at is 32.1. So we could have a maximum of 40, and that's reasonable. The minimum of 6.8. So it's reasonable to start at 0. You're not going to have a massive axis that way. And just to make it easy for us, I've divided this up. So this is 5. So you're going to have to imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one to divide it up to get the approximate values. So looking at the strongly agree, we've got 32.1, so it's around about here. So draw in your column. So agree, we've got 25.3, so 20, 25 is there, so 25.3 is about there. So drawing in your column, that's about what you'll get. For don't know, we've got 6.8, so this is about around that point there. Drawing in your column for that variable. Now we go on to disagree, so 16. So we've got 15, so 16 might be about there. So we might have a column that looks approximately like that. Strongly disagree, 19.8, so it's just below 20. And that's what we're looking at for our completed frequency column chart. Okay, for part G, interpret and write a summary of the findings. Okay, so if I was going to write a report on my findings, I'd say something like this. A group of 162 students were asked to respond to the statement that there is not enough downtime between assignments. The highest frequency was 32.1, with 52 students strongly agreeing, followed by 25.3% of students agreeing. In total, 93 students agreed to some extent, while 58 students did not. 11 students did not know how to respond. So this final part here is just a good little summary to add. So to get 93 students, I've just added these two values together, 52 plus 41. And then to get 58, the disagree and strongly disagree numbers, I've added 26 plus 32. And then don't know, 11 is the remainder. So that's answered all the questions for the complex familiar. Please, please, please help me get my subscribers up so that I can continue giving you videos to help you through year 11 and 12.